Look! Look, the dynamic duo!
Mr. Helder, I'd like to know, time-wise, is there a particular character, either hours, days, months, what have you, that was your longest and hardest to design?
The destroyer.
Hmm. That's a good question. That's a good question.
Yeah, the destroyer. That was destroyer. Because
Strife. Yeah. Strife.
the
That's got to
destroyer.
be hard. That's got to be
Yeah,
tough.
Really?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what happened with the with that statue? The story behind is, like by hand, you have to do all that stuff. It's like it's like a lines. All those spikes, and I have to thank Gabe Perna, and
Mm-hmm.
he did the mini bus for Randy Bowen,
Mm-hmm.
and he said, "So hey, I can give you guys the mold for the spikes I did for my mini bus destroyer for Randy Bowen." And
Wow.
the interesting thing about that destroyer too, it was starting as a model kit,
Oh,
and
really?
I designed it, and John Diaz was about to produce it,
Oh, my
and
God.
yeah, and then Rainbow just jumped on it and said, "I'm interested, Helder." I said, "Well, I was talking to John, and that was funny, and we sold the when that sold the project for Rainbow. That was nice, but
So did he mind? So first of all, did Randy see it and say, I want it? Or did he come to you and say, oh, would you do a stripe for me? And you were already doing it. Did Randy?
no, I was already doing that. The project was,
Yeah.
like I was working on it
Yeah.
already. And then he said, I was I was trying to be as clear as possible with people. And I told him, say, Randy, that it's supposed to be a model kit. It's, you know, and he said, so no problem. I'll buy the project. I said,
Wow.
"Oh, that's nice." And
Wow.
the same happened with the Omega Red.
Yeah.
But
That's
the funny
another
thing,
piece that you've done. The
yeah,
Omega Red. Yeah.
the Omega Red, we did some and we sold some already at
Oh,
the
no.
time. And he said, "I want to buy that project." I said, "Really? We already sold some a couple model kits." He said, "No problem, no problem. I'll buy the project."
Wow.
Because the good things about being an artist like Randy Bowen, because he started like if like anybody else,
Yeah. Yeah.
like producing model kits and selling on the shows.
That's right.
He started making some stuff for DC Comics now.
That's
Like
right.
a
That's right.
Superman featuring on the Jerry Springer show.
Yeah, that's right. I have that Superman, by the way.
I
It's outside.
see, and he did a great job. I love that Batman he did.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that
The
the
Jim
Raven.
Aparo style Batman. Yeah,
Yeah, and then the good thing, like I said, because he knows how thing works,
yeah,
for the artist, you know, and I was always very clear with him,
yeah.
So Randy, we sold uh like for example, we sold 20 20 model kits, and he said that's okay, I'll buy
Yeah,
it, no
yeah,
problem.
yeah.
And that was a great, good things at the time too.
For people who don't know, can you explain the model kit market and how it works? Like when you produce a piece, go ahead and explain the model kit market for people who don't know.
But, model kits is basically the beginning for every sculptor out there.
Yeah, that's right. That's
In
absolutely
time,
right.
especially
Including Randy Bowen, by the way.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, as you said. Yeah.
Everybody, including those guys are from Sideshow.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Everybody,
Yeah,
everyone
yeah,
start like that.
yeah,
Everyone. And
yeah.
then they start to get the license, and that the trouble begins. But
You're right.
yeah,
You're right. You're
but
right.
that's fine, it's like I think the big companies they they really in this day they don't mind, like some uh, someone producing a small amount of the character, something like that. I never got rich, and I never will, but I,
Yeah,
I do from time to time, and just like a couple ones, and that's
yeah,
it. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and I had the contact from a French guy at the time, like back in 2006, something like that. After they saw my Lonely Space Night, and the guy said, "Listen, we are a group of collectors here in France, and we love your work on full size, and we would like to hire you to make exclusive um, mini bust, but it's exclusive for us."
Mm,
And I end up making I think, if I'm not mistaken, 75 mini bus for them.
wow, wow, wow.
Yeah.
Is that so? How if people want to reach out to you to do commission? Do you do commissions? Do you do those kinds of things? And how do they do
Yeah.
that? Do they go? Do you have a website? Like how do you promote yourself? And what are you doing now? Like so, Randy. And there's a lot of questions I'm going to ask you because
Yeah, no problem.
because obviously Randy, the Bowen Designs has stopped producing, and that's a shame. That's a terrible
Yeah,
shame.
that was a shame, man. That was,
I know, I know, I know. Do
but
you
he's
know?
still
Do
doing
you know
some
what
good
happened, by the
stuff
way?
until these
Because
days. You know that.
say again, what?
He's still scooping some good stuff until these days, like some minibus, some monsters, stuff like that. He's crazy about monsters too, like the
He,
classic
but
ones.
he is he model kidding it? Because is he selling the? Because I don't think he's selling it through Bowen Designs anymore.
No, no, no. It's I don't know what happened,
Yeah,
like, but uh that happened, and then it was a shame, I was a big fan, and I'm very thankful to Randy Bowl, the man himself, who gave me an opportunity too, but
yeah. I had the chance to. First of all, I had the chance to interview him. I had a chance to do a little bit of a couple of things with him, business wise. Nothing big or anything.
Mhm.
Cool guy. We would email each other back and forth.
Oh yeah,
A very, very cool guy. And I always
yeah,
said he's one of the giants of the industry
yes,
because he's very much like Stan Lee, Jack Kirby. He
yeah.
was the innovator for this whole industry.
I think Randy Bowl was the pioneer,
Yes, that's what I mean. You
you
see,
know,
your English is better than mine. That's the word. He's the pioneer of this medium,
of
of this
this
genre.
industry. All of them. That's my humble opinion
It is.
of
No,
this.
that's fact. It's fact.
All begins with Randy Bowen.
1,000%. And
Like to translate, like we are talking, to translate the page of the comic
oh
book
my God. Oh
to
my
the
God.
to the come to the true, come true, like come to the real life,
Exactly.
the comic books that you have in your childhood.
Oh my God. But can I tell you a story? A story is when I was about, I think 18, 19, I said to myself, I want a statue of my superheroes. And I'm a business guy, and I was starting into business. This was before I went to college. This was my first couple of years of college. And I said, you know what? I'm going to produce a bunch of Marvel statues, which at the time there was nothing. This was before Randy Bowen. So
Mm.
I went to Marvel office. I sat down with the agent. I said, "Give me the license. I want to produce some statues." And they said, "Oh, it's never gonna sell." I said, "Don't worry about it. I'm gonna do it." And so I went. I was 18. I didn't know what I was doing, and I went and tried to manufacture. I'm working to get it done. And one day I walk into a comic book store and I see a Randy Bowen piece, and I said, "You know what? Forget about it." He had produced it. And at that time, I became, 100%, like day one, I was with Randy Bowen all the way till
Oh yeah,
now.
man. Like I said, when I saw his Hulk, the green one, mini bus,
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
I was crazy about it. I said, I didn't know they do the character, the comic book character. It's just
yeah,
from the comic book.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly the translation. That's it.
And he did something that was very, very cool. He On the forums, he communicated with us, with the
Oh yeah,
buyers.
I saw him several times. Like interacting with people.
Yeah,
He was, for me, he was always, like uh, a very nice guy and interacting with people.
yeah, yeah.
And that's nice.
Kevin, I'm jumping everywhere, so please jump in if you've got a question.
Uh, two of them really quickly, actually. One, have you ever sculpted a character, finished it, had it ready for sale or what have you, and then decided that you weren't happy with it and would not release it?
Interesting.
Well, yeah, that happened. I think a situation like that happened all the time with all the artists.
Really?
Like the point is, like some people think, like I have been artist forever since I was a kid. I was drawing like crazy, like I used to work for some forgot the name, some like I forgot some newspaper, right?
Okay.
Doing some stripes. I was like, at the time, oh man, I'm 54 right now. And that was like, like a 16, 17 years old, and was hired to do some stripes for the newspaper at the time, and people think, like, oh, ours are all crazy and, uh, you know, we are all normal, like everybody else. Have
Yeah,
problems,
yeah.
have all the shit that people have, you know, and so that's it. It's like so that happened. It's like uh, nah, I'm not happy with this piece, and just stop the project. I have
Really? Wow.
yeah, I have
Ooh.
some, project and I destroy it. So I used to do that, not anymore, not in these days, but
Yeah.
a couple of years ago, like, oh, that was an interesting story too. I have just the digital image of the drawing because
You tore it up.
Oh.
yeah, because I put them on eBay, my drawing.
Yeah.
Again, nobody, no buyers. And I was pissed off. I said, shit, no way. And then I
Oh
destroyed the
no,
drawing.
no.
And then a guy in the morning, next
Oh.
day, contacted me and said, listen, I want that one. I said, oh, too late, man. Too late. But the good thing was, like he contacted me on eBay, and he hired me to do some commission, some drawing, and I did some several drawings for this collector at the time, back like 2005, something like that.
Mm.
And I have still in these days some drawing that I did not sell, but still here I
Oh
did.
wow.
I never after that I learned my lesson. I said I will
Don't
never
you?
destroy my art again. Never, never. I'm finished. I'm finished. Yes, but I will never destroy it again.
Yeah, that's smart. That's smart. Yeah, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do. Let me ask you this. What's your thought? Because here's what's interesting. The industry has like ballooned up. Like they're producing so many different pieces at so many scales for such prices. I mean, there are $10,000 pieces, $5,000
Yeah,
pieces, $2,000 pieces. They're intricate. They're gorgeous. The industry is. What's your thought on that? Because here's what I noticed, and tell me if you agree. When Randy Bowen was producing, he was number one. And then
yes,
some companies started getting into the field, and they were doing sort of the modern versions.
yeah,
But Bowen Design stayed classic,
yes,
and he was number one. And then what I'm seeing is that those companies are now doing the classic versions because they realize that's what really is the core of the character. But now they're doing those classic versions in a very elaborate, sophisticated, detailed,
yeah,
big. What's
yeah.
your thought on that? On A, the artistry, B, on the business side of it. And have you done any of those types of pieces?
No, like I said, I will stick forever, man, to the classic one.
Yeah.
I will stick for that for forever, you know. But I have seen, like the game start to change uh with Randy Bowie for Bone Designs. And I remember his first digital piece was Mephisto.
It's right there. Yeah, it's right
Yeah.
there.
And
Yeah.
there's some stuff at the time, some people at the time, some artists at the time said, say, like, Helder, the game's changing, and
Yeah.
you better go digital to, otherwise you're not going to survive. I said, well, we'll see. So I love all the stuff. Like I said, I have no problem with digitals. I know a lot of digital artists, and one of them is very famous in these days. He used to be my student a couple
Oh
of years
wow,
ago.
really?
Yeah, his name is Alvaro. Forgot his last name, but Álvaro Ribeiro, something like that. I
Okay.
forgot. Hey, Álvaro, please forgive me. Okay, but now he has a company, a huge company, and
Wow.
he's selling his stuff to Europe, and it's kind of like Warhammer stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
In Europe, they are very famous, like a miniature stuff like that. But his company does incredible work, man. It's very, very nice. And
Wow.
yeah, and
So
I like it. It's like I have no problem with digital. I like and I love it. But for myself, like I have said, I just still sculpting like a traditional way, a block of
yeah.
clay and
That feeling. I have to tell you, I'm gonna have to take one of your master classes because so you and I have a very similar background. Like I was a kid. We are about the same age, now that you
Mhm.
told me your age. And I used to draw all the time. I paint. I
Yeah,
consider myself an artist too.
yeah.
Dude, I have tried sculpting. I can't do it. So I've gotten close. I've got the armature, I've got the shape, but what I cannot do is I don't know how you guys get the detail because the clay is too soft. I can't get the details in it. So so I'm gonna have to take one of your master classes one of these
I
days to learn how to
I
sculpt.
I used to give a workshop in New York area, like I did too in New York area, and I'm going to give a workshop in next year, early next year, at Vancouver, in
Oh,
Canada.
okay. Canada,
And
yeah.
yeah, and it's it's a I think it is possible, like for everybody do something like that. Like
Really?
the principle, yeah, the principles just the drawing. I tell people everything begins with drawing. So that's it. The design, like the ideas, and then you just like a drawing on the clay, it's like a remember that I remember like it was yesterday
Mhm.
when I saw the video of Dire Straits. I think some money for nothing, something like that. The video is like animated stuff at the
Mhm.
time, and they call it a low poly. It's like a video game at the time, Atari, something like that. It was
Okay.
like two, you know, and not in these days, the industry got the video games crazy, and
Yeah. Yeah.
but everything starts with the simple things,
Yeah.
you know, and I think everybody can do it.
Well, like I said, I've tried, and so kudos to you for being able to do it to produce
Yeah,
some beautiful work. Right now, how, if I may ask, is that how you're making a living as an artist by doing workshops? Do you do commissions? Like
I
what?
mean,
How?
yeah, I do commissions, I do workshops, and but most of time, like I'm a full-time artist, like I love, but I I'm like I'm freak out with everything about art. So I used to do some proper replicas too, you
Mm,
know, and I used to do a set decoration stuff like that. I'm crazy about some series like a Game of Thrones and House
yeah,
of Dragons stuff like that because like it's a lot of digital things out there, but they in need for a professional who does stuff like that by hands.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Kevin, did you have any questions? I'm dominating the
Yes,
conversation.
actually, Mr. Elder, I'm a huge Star Wars fanatic. I'm sure you can tell by the T-shirt,
Yeah.
but have you ever considered heading toward that galaxy far, far away and doing any Star Wars sculpt?
Oh yeah. I would like to scoop some monsters, some stuff like that, man, because
Oh,
Star Wars, but listen, don't get me wrong. I know there's a lot of people who love the new stuff. Well, but like I said, I'm
Classic all
old.
the way,
I,
baby.
I,
Yeah.
Classic all the
even
way.
though,
The first three the trilogy,
yes, sir,
Exactly.
the original
yes,
one.
sir.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's
Exactly.
but there's so much things out there from Star Wars that I would
I,
like to
I
sculpt,
would love your interpretation of some of the classic characters.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
like uh, Rainbow at the time, like I said, he did interview with to the Wizard
Wizard.
magazine. He did Boba Fett,
That's
and
I've
right.
Boba
That's right.
Fett,
I've seen
yeah,
that one.
and
That's
Boba
right.
Fett is a very very nice character. Like I'm crazy about that, and there's a lot of monster, a lot of things, and I just wish I had more time, to do all the stuff that I have in my mind.
Ah,
That's a so good stuff that
Yeah.
some people never touch it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
so many things, man. I will die eventually. I will die without, you know, doing some stuff that I really love.
I can only imagine having your talent and having that pool of like
Uh-huh.
imagination, like what you could do. Like you could basically do anything you could think of. It's limitless. It's limitless
Yeah,
as what you can do. Do
yeah.
you know? No, I'm sorry. Go
That's my
ahead.
point. That's my point. You know, so, uh, that's why some people say, I said, "Hey, you are, we are, you guys are all crazy." I say, "Well, I'm crazy about time.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't have. I wish I had more than 24 hours. Even though it would never be enough time.
Enough. It's never enough.
You
It's never
know,
going to be enough. It's never going to be
no,
enough.
never. I would die and never scoop all the things that I really love. You know, like from Star Wars, some great
Yeah.
characters too. You know, but
Did
well,
you
what
did you
can you
what do you
do?
think about the scale? Have you thought about drawing at the larger scales that they're doing
Uh,
now?
uh, I like to work. I have my face too, my scalp. I from all begins from Randy Bull all again
That's
from
it,
Randy
baby.
Bull. He was the pilot. I love that
Exactly.
scalp, you
Yeah.
know. And I like a six, and I like four maximum. You know, it's like but six and four maximum. You know, it's like I I think it's nice some life size bust something like that. I would like to try one of these days some stuff like that. But you know, I don't know. It's too much stuff. You know, I like to make the
That's the
like
thing. I'm telling you, and we jive on this. I'm telling you, for me, Bowen is like perfection.
yeah.
Scale,
He
characters,
was the
artistry.
1/6 scale on the market, and it's still in these days 1/6
Ex
scale. Hot
exactly.
toys, hot toys, most of stuff 1/6 scale.
Yeah, yeah, he set the standard. He set the standard. Do you
Yeah.
know, do you happen to know? Because it's one of the independent characters that if you know him, you love him, but if some people don't know. Do you know this character Nexus? Do you know him at all or no?
No,
All right, okay. So
no,
it's a
I'm
comic
not
book that came
familiar with
out
that.
in the 80s actually. And it's
Hmm.
it's a great, great, great comic book. Um and uh and so if you don't know him, then it's hard for you to understand what I mean. But it's one of those things that he has classic poses that I would love for you to kind of
Oh,
um interpret.
yeah. You know what? I'm crazy about Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah.
Yes.
They have some fucking good stuff. You know, like a Herculoids. I
Yeah.
think is the name Herculoids?
Which one?
The
Uh,
Herculoids.
Herculoids, Herculoids,
Herculoids.
Herculoids.
Yeah.
Herculoids, yeah. Have you done
Oh
any of those?
man,
Have you
they
done
have
any of those?
so much good stuff. You know.
Yeah. Not enough time in the day. Not
No,
enough.
no.